Hello from another morning walk. I've decided to make a stop and talk about comfort zone. I literally woke up thinking about comfort zone and what does it really mean? We hear that all the time. Get out of your comfort zone, push your limits, and be bold. I wanted to resume the idea in just a very few sentences, if possible, as I reflected back on my personal life and how I managed to get the things that I wanted and create the life that I want. It happens to seem that whenever a person is achieving something, it's after a huge, bold movement and change. And that big, bold movement and change only happens after you have reached a point of tiny little things coming into place. And here's where I find interesting to mark a point, make a statement that getting out of your comfort zone, it doesn't mean go and leap and die on the attempt, because that's how it seems, and that's why so many people are so afraid of really making a change, because it seems that they have to make a big bold change all at once in order to change. And yes, the big change happens after a big major movement, but all the basis for this huge change was created a long time by small little changes and actions and new approaches and new tiny things that you've been doing along the way. And I can tell you, it has been like that for me, like for everything that I did. Yes, the result was a bold movement, also because I tend to, just when I change something, I really change it and it's visible. But the trigger for doing that was based on really many tiny little new things that I started to do. New behaviors, new habits, incorporated new things that I liked, and I learned new things. And whenever you are conscious about this and you understand that in order to make change and get yourself out of your real comfort zone, you really need to think big, dream big, have a very huge motivation for action. But the truth is that you start making little moves, you start making little steps along the way. And the reason why it is necessary, it's, change equals fear. Change equals unknown. And our minds are trying to protect us against new stuff. So the bigger the action, the bigger the move that you want to make, the more rejection you will have. So instead, if you have a clear idea on a big thing that you want to achieve, and think about all the things that you need to really make that bold movement to happen, you will discover that you only need to do tiny little things on a daily basis, incorporating new habits. And let me tell you and be honest with that, incorporating new habits, it's equally hard, even though they may be small, but anything that you change will create some rejection in the first place. But if it's tiny, if it's smaller, you will be more willing to do it. You will be less fearful. It's gonna be a little tiny step. And sometimes it happens that people start doing these little tiny steps, and the problem is that they don't see any dramatic change or result. Maybe you're wanting for real change, for a new outcome, for a new life, and you give 10 steps and nothing has changed. But wait, because what you are doing is building something which is invisible in the beginning, but after 100 steps, 1,000 steps, and all the other little things that you will start to change thanks to these few smaller steps that you are giving, they will build up a new person. And it will be built in a way that it's unperceivable. And actually is the safest way to do it. And also the most stable way. You know what happens when people make huge leaps and they are not ready for them is that the person that they took with them on the leap, it's an old person with all behaviors and with all interests and with all knowledge. And that person will most likely not be ready for the new. You know, you didn't create in yourself the new person that really is fit for what you want. So if you are patient and if you understand this concept, which I'm trying to resume here, of building yourself with small steps towards that big thing and then leap once you have built yourself, that will also prevent you from leaping without having a real consistent new mindset and preventing you from going back, you know, because if you start a whole new thing with the wrong mindset, it's very difficult to carry on. I won't say it's impossible, I say it's very difficult, and that's why a lot of people just give up. And that's why a lot of people make huge changes and then they just fail, because they didn't build themselves up. They just carried someone who wasn't ready for that. So this going out of your comfort zone, it comes with tiny changes. For example, for me, is recording this video, you know. That's out of my comfort zone. Why am I doing this? Well, that's a story for another time. But the thing is that one more thing that I want to drop here before I close this video is that when you start doing tiny things, even if sometimes the things that you do might seem not related to what you want to achieve, to what you want to do, but they open doors, they open your mind, they open your eyes, they put you in front of situations that you would have never been otherwise. And then you find new ways to do things, and also you will find new destinations that you want to get. So don't be surprised if you start with a goal in mind and along the way you change it. That's because you have evolved. That's because you have gained new knowledge. That's because you have become a new person. And that new person it's really what will take you to the next step. And one more thing, there's not final destination. Every change you make builds up for new interests, for new needs, for new wants, for new desires, and for new curiosities. And so, wanna leap, wanna create a new life, wanna get yourself out of your comfort zone, be conscious about it, and understand how it works, and understand how your mind works, and understand that you may need help. And that could be in form of a coach or a mastermind or people who are really having the same mindset. It doesn't mean that they are doing exactly the same thing that you want to do. If they do, that's great. But most important is that they have the new mindset, that they understand that meaningful results, meaningful changes from within, they don't happen overnight. It's like success doesn't happen overnight. You know, you don't build an empire overnight. It takes time, it takes planning, it takes changes, it takes a lot of courage, it takes going in the direction that you fear. It takes a lot, but it's worth it. It's really worth it, because that's a life, that's an extraordinary life, that's a unique life, that's a life that you want to tell everyone, and that's a life that you will not regret having lived. And having said that, well, I don't regret being here now. You cannot see, it's a huge view behind me, and just around the corner where I'm going to go now, there's a view from some mountains. It's not always visible because depending on the weather, but it's worth just going there and trying to see them. I wish you an amazing day, and I hope this, what I have said, may help you, may serve you, and may lead you to take some small tiny steps towards your dreams. Bye.